Hi guys, Daz here with another episode of my top 20 selling comic books of the week. Sorry it's a day late, but yesterday I was watching Hugh Jackman live in concert. What a show. He is the greatest showman. So, here we are, episode 23. And today I'm going to be discussing the best selling comics from the 24th of May 2019. This is a tough list, guys. You're going to do well to have a lot of these books. Let's see what you've got. Basically, since coverprice.com came on the scene, they have become a go-to spot for watching eBay trends on comics. And they scour thousands of eBay sales to culminate data to spotlight the hottest selling comics. Here's this week's top 20. Yeah, we got a 20 this week. Not 10, 20. Let's see if you can beat me. Most people usually do. Starting in at number 20 on our list is a book that I don't have, and I'm not sure many of you will either. It is from the new company that is set to rival, supposedly, Marvel. Yes, Atlas Comics. Number 20 on our list is Barbarians, featuring Iron Jaw, issue number 1. Yeah, I made a hot comic book special on the company of Atlas and what they're bringing to the table. Please go back and check through that. Barbarian issue 1 from Atlas sold 16 copies this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 178%. A high sale of a raw copy of that book has just sold for $18. That was our number 20. Number 19 on our list is a book that I own, but I haven't got it with me. It is at my mother's. I left it there, and I will be picking it up very, very soon. The book in question is War of the Gods, issue number 1 from DC Comics. Now, this was spec'd upon by my good friend and most of our good friends, Jim's Comics. But sadly, the spec was wrong. But that didn't stop people going out and buying it. It was supposedly the first appearance of Cirque, but that's not the case. War of the Gods, issue 1, sold 19 copies this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 168%, and a CGC 9.8 has just sold for $85. Why, I'm not sure, but people like the book. They know now that that spec is not right, but they are still going out and buying it. Personally, I'm happy to have one copy. I don't even know whether it'll stay in my PC. It's not a key, but people are still buying it. Number 18 on our list is another book from that company, Atlas. And this time, from 1975, we have Weird Suspense featuring the Tarantula, issue number 1. More Atlas goodness. Of course, all their books come from the Bronze Age. What once dollar books are not the case anymore. I'm going to a big con this weekend. I'm hoping to pick up a few of these Atlas books on the cheap. Weird Suspense issue 1 sold 26 copies this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 124%. Now a CGC 9.6 just sold for $180. Crazy stuff from these Atlas comics. Up next is a book I've been looking for with no joy. I know my friend Lyric Magic Moments picked up one. It's all to do with Dark Horse just signing up a new deal with Netflix. Yeah, a lot of their properties are now going to be optioned and produced by Netflix. The book in question from Dark Horse Comics, of course, is this one. Last Stop on the Red Line. It's a horror tale, I believe, and I've heard nothing but good things about the book. Now, people are specking on this book being optioned. A bit early in my opinion, but it's not stopping people buying it, because 28 copies have just sold this past week. Like I said, I looked in my LCSs, no joy for me as yet. 7-day trend plus 117%, with a high sale now of $11.99. So you're nearly, well, you're trebling your money already on Last Stop of the Red Line. Number 16 on our list is another Atlas book. They keep coming, guys. Be prepared for this. We got Grim Ghost, Issue 2, Journey of the Death. There's the book in question. Grim Ghost, Issue number 2 from Atlas Comics. 11 copies have just sold this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 303%. A high sale. Raw has just gone for $18 for the Grim Ghost Issue 2. Number 15 on our list, and I'm back in with Incredible Hulk Issue 377. A bit of a stalwart on our list now, guys. As well as the first printing, I have the second printing. Now, 35 copies have sold for the first printing this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 102%. And a high sale for 9.8 CGC has just sold for $102. People were starting to think that this book was coming down in price a little bit, but it's still in that top 20, guys. It's still fighting. Of course, it's the first appearance of Professor Hulk. But it's not spoilers anymore, is it? Professor Hulk is in Endgame. Yeah. You know, what were your thoughts on Endgame and Professor Hulk? I liked seeing Professor Hulk, but as the film went on, I wanted to see him have a real smackdown with Thanos, and I was disappointed on that score. But like I said, I paid £3 for my copy, so I can't complain. And I paid, what did I pay? £10 for the second printing. It's the third printing that garners the money, isn't it? But that's the ugliest cover, in my opinion. Number 14 on our list. Do I have it? I do, and it's more Marvel goodness. This time in the form of Rob Liefeld and his Major X character. Yet this is the first full appearance of Major X in Major X Issue 1. And Major X is Alexander Nathaniel Summers. It's also the first appearance of Dreadpool. Yeah, we're really scraping the barrel with that one, guys. 36 copies have sold of this book this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 100%. High sale CGC 9.8 has just sold for $225. Insane stuff. This isn't even his first appearance, of course. His first cameo appearance comes in Spider-Man Deadpool issue 47. So, you know, Rob Liefeld kicked up a big stink about not signing books. But bad press is better than no press, in his opinion, I guess, because he's got a fan base. I'm not a fan of his art. I think it's Major X issue 3, but there's a Wolverine with a funny smile or a grimace, and it looks shockingly bad. But he sells books. What can you say? Okay, number 13 on our list. I was looking for this one. No joy. Why? It's more Atlas goodness. This is Phoenix issue 1, again from 1975. Guys, I hope you've been stocking up on these Atlas books. Phoenix issue number 1. 62 copies. 62 have sold this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 59%. And the CGC 9.8 has just sold for a high of $175. Madness. What's going on at Atlas? Number 12 on our list. And we're sticking with Atlas. Oh my days. This time we have Wolf the Barbarian, issue 1. Again from 1975. 25-cent cover, guys. Wolf the Barbarian, issue number 1. 44 copies of that book have sold this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 97%. A raw high sale of $14 for Wolf the Barbarian. And so we go into our first runner-up to the Big Ten. And in at number 11 on our chart, guys, is a book I hope you picked up. There was spec to it, but it's not what we thought. Despite that, one of the best reads I've had in some time. The book in question, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, issue number 6. And the first appearance of this character, Spider-Bite. Yeah, Spider-Bite. But everybody was expecting on Spider-Bite. Well, Spider-Bite turned out to be a young child, a young boy who had cancer. His name was Nathan. This is a story that really pulls on the heartstrings, guys. I think we're going to see Spider-Bite going forward as well. And yeah, it really was a touching story. He teamed up with Spider-Man to take on the villains, and they were all like nurses and doctors in the hospital. Fantastic stuff. Well, 29 copies have sold this past week with a 7-day trend of plus 157%. Now I paid cover price for my copy, and a high sale now has gone for $18 on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man issue 6. And so we're into the Big 10. Starting in at number 10 is a book that I'm just coming onto my radar. I didn't really know too much about this book, but we're talking What If from Marvel Comics issue 114, guys. 114. The reason this is hot is the first appearance of Sharon Carter, aka Crusader. Yeah, that's new to me, guys. I know my key books, but this is new to me. The 7-day trend, plus 196%. 27 copies have sold this past week. The average raw sale for that book now, $15.95 is creeping. And a 9.8 CGC has just gone for $83.48. So it's still within the realms of not getting too steep in price. Of course, Sharon Carter related to Peggy Carter. And I picked up the first appearance of Peggy Carter in Tales of Suspense 77 in my last haul. Delighted to add that to my collection. Number 9 on our list, Atlas, keep punching. This time we have Ironjaw, issue number 1. Ironjaw. Crikey, they're all coming out of the woodwork, aren't they? The 7-day trend on Ironjaw number 1, plus 84%. 68 copies of that book have sold this past week. Insane stuff. The average raw sale, $6.86. And a 9.6 CGC just went for $80.29. Like I said, Atlas Library purchased for a media deal, and that is the first appearance of Ironjaw. Up next on our list, can't be Atlas again, can it? It can. You better believe it, guys. This time we have Tiger Man issue 1. Another issue I spoke of in my hot comic book alert. Tiger Man issue 1. This is the first Tiger Man solo series. The 7-day trend, plus 352%. 18 copies of that book have just sold this past week. The average raw sale, $5.97. No graded books on that one. That's probably the only Atlas one that hasn't got a graded book at the moment. Number 7 on our list. It's unbelievable. We're going Atlas again. It's an Atlas frenzy. We've got the Grim Ghost, issue 1. We had number 2, now we got number 1. People are specking huge on this. They've come out and said they've got the budget to rival Marvel, 100 million plus for some of these films. Whether it happens remains to be seen, but it's exciting times for a collector. That is the first appearance of the Grim Ghost. The 7-day trend, plus 134%. 54 copies have sold this past week. The average raw sale now, $6.60. And a 9.6 CGC on average is selling at $75 for the first Grim Ghost. Number 6 on our list, and we're back to a little bit of normality with Naomi, issue number 5. And this is where Naomi powers are revealed, and it's also the first appearance of a new villain called Zumbada. Now going forward, if Naomi sticks around, it looks like Zumbada could be her big nemesis. So let's see where this one goes. I picked up 3 copies. I've sold one, but I didn't get the price I wanted. The 7-day trend on this big book, plus 110%. 67 copies have sold this past week. 67. The average raw sale is still only $3.99, but it's the volume of buys. A 9.8 is already out there. Can you believe it? On average, is selling CGC at $60. That's Naomi, issue 5. Excuse me. Up next. Couldn't be Atlas, could it? You know it could be. We're talking Morlock 2001. Some random titles here, guys. A lot of these I knew about, but some of them are new to me. And that could well be one of them. Morlock. That is the first appearance of Morlock. 7-day trend, plus 250%. 36 copies of that book have sold this past week. The average raw sale now, $5.50. And a 9.6 CGC sold for $36.88. Bit of a bargain there for a high-graded book. But, like I say, it's all speculation. Remains to be seen whether these books do in fact get to the screen. Number 4 on our list. You won't believe it, it's more Atlas. Oh my days. And we're talking this time, The Scorpion, issue 1. The Scorpion. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is their one true superhero. That is the first appearance of Scorpion. Now, a lot of these Atlas characters, they change quite dramatically from the first issue to the last, but before being cut short. The 7-day trend, plus 157% for the first Scorpion. 60 copies have sold this past week. The average raw sale, $4.81. And the average graded copy now is going at $36.66. So, again, these are CGC books that are well within reach. But again, it's all guesswork at this time. Number 3 on our list. Really? Still going? We've got some more Atlas comics, and this time we've got The Destructor. Now, I said Scorpion could be the only superhero, but I could be wrong. I think it is The Destructor that is the only superhero. The Destructor. And that is the first appearance of Destructor in issue 1. The 7-day trend, plus 196%. 50 copies have sold of that book this past week. The average raw sale now, $4.60. The average 9.6 CGC is going at $58.56. Atlas ruling the world. Bit of a pun. Okay, number 2 on our list. And we're talking independent. And we are talking Black Masks. 4 kids walk into a bank. Issue number 1. Matthew Rosenberg tweeted out that he is writing a screenplay about this book. Basically, it's described as Reservoir Dogs with Wes Anderson's humour. It is brutal, this book. I enjoyed the read. Very mature. Not what I was expecting. Within 72 hours of this book, of Matthew Rosenberg announcing he was writing for it, there were 80 plus sales of this book. Now we move on, and we got 7-day trend on this one this past week, plus 347%. 35 copies have sold this past week. The average raw sale now, $9.98. I paid £4.95 for my copy, including shipping. 9.8 CGC just sold for $50.41. Good story. Kids helping out on a bank heist. Very brutal. And that leads us to number 1. And it can't be Atlas, can it? Can it? Yes, it can. And the number 1 this time is Atlas's version of the Hulk. We are talking the Brute. The Brute, there he is. There's that Brute. Taking on the police force. That is the first appearance of Brute in Brute issue 1. The 7-day trend, plus 236%. 64 copies have sold this past week. The average raw sale now, $8.52. And a 9.6 CGC on average is going at $89. Wow. Atlas on fire. How many Atlas books were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 Atlas books in our top 20 this week, guys. That only leaves me one thing. How many did I get? I have War of the Gods. I'm counting that one. I've got it. I will show it at some point. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I've got 6 out of 20. Wow. I will be very impressed if anybody has as high as 15. I don't think it can be done this time. Prove me wrong. That's Dazzie over and out. Bye for now.